my daughter.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I call this the February 16, 2021 County Conflict Commissioners meeting to order. If you would please bow your head for a moment of silence. Surely we can all find something to be thankful for. Thank you, Ms. Mayor Pro Tem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, agenda adoption, we have two additions. Council, keep up, make sure I'm doing this right. We'll put it 6B will be a resolution concerning tax proposed by Commissioner Armbruster. And 6C, restoring the Historic Fund Commission. Both of those under the and then, okay, any other additions, deletions, or changes? Chair will entertain a motion to adopt. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, likewise. Okay, consent agenda. Item B would be, we talked about approving the 10-mile-per-hour speed limit for Freeman Hill. Everybody was in agreement for that, so I asked it to be put in the consent agenda. And in favor of the consent agenda, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, likewise, motion carries. Item 6, 55 Melrose Avenue. Zach?
So you have in front of you, you should have a, it's not an official contract, but it's an offer to purchase from Ellis Venture. Mr. Venture has offered to purchase 55 Melrose Avenue for $140,000. And then after that contract we have, which is about 12 pages, William has drawn up some information for you. So if you care to accept this bid, you will start the upset bid process. There's a resolution authorizing the upset bid process. And then we will get the advertisement, which is attached as public notice, County of North Carolina. We will put that into the paper as well. I think he's got that set for March 1st, 2021, which that would mean that would mean we would advertise it on the 19th. So it's just 10 days, not 10 business, correct?
Yes.
So you have to pass, if you want to accept it, you pass this resolution.
I wanted the 10th day to not be on a weekend, so waited till Friday to help us weekend.
I make a motion that we accept Mr. Venture's.
Second.
All those in favor, aye? Opposed, likewise, motion carries.
And does that include the resolution?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the resolution. We will then take the notice, have that. And I will email Mr. Venture and explain to him the process for you.
Okay, we move to item 6B. Chris, the other resolution you were talking about was directing the manager to craft.
I'd like to make a motion to direct the manager to draft a resolution concerning the recent tax refile and direct it to the BOC County to express our concern for the process and our support for the county's stated intent by the BOC County manager to maintain revenue neutral
Likewise, motion carries. 6C,
I'd like to make a motion that we reauthorize the Tryon Historic Preservation Committee, appointing citizen Robert Lang as chairperson, with the further direction that he populate the board per North Carolina state requirements, and then bring that suggested slate of candidates back before this board for authorization.
okay, question before that, what was the title before? Historic Commission,
Tryon Historic Preservation Commission.
the commission and not council?
Right.
Okay, clarification. All those in favor, aye? Those likewise, motion carries. Item 7, Zach.
So we have the South Mountains Region Hazard Mitigation Plan. I have sent the link to you. It's around 500 pages, so we don't expect you to read it in a weekend and get back. You can search and see what are the deliverables for Tryon, but it basically outlines how the region plans to prepare for future hazards. Tryon's first deliverable is 2022. We are going to bring it in front of you in March. We have the resolution that will be presented to you in your packet tonight so that you can be aware of it. Basically, I don't know if Josh or Jeff want to chime in on this, but basically you approved this back in 2012, I think. There was a version of it. This is a newer version. This is something that gets updated every, 8-10 years or so. So you will have to read it. It'll showcase what we plan to do to be prepared for emergencies like tornadoes or 26 shutting down, whatever. Y'all have anything to add?
No, I'm glad to see this working better. When we first had a problem trying to set this up, we had all the mayors and the county chairman, and we were told that we were gonna have this event. It was a real storm event, and as it turned out, the weathermen were as usual, as accurate as they were. So we had canceled schools, closed things down, and set everything up, and then nothing happened. And then I found out somewhat later, they only looked at maybe one weather station. They never called a higher headquarters for weather to see what was coming down. And with that bit of information, we can make a lot better decisions. So, yeah, I think this is gonna help clarify some things. I know I didn't read all 500 pages.
Like I said, you can just search Tryon in that document.
So tonight, you'll just get free information.
Just for your information, and we'll bring it back next week for your approval or denial.
Okay. Item 8, money lease.
So, in our discussions in the past couple of months, this is a hunting lease that has been prepared based off of the Nature Conservancy. This is what they sent me. It's been edited. Basically, the idea is $4 per acre. That comes up to about $1,800 a year, payable in advance. The person that we've discussed about allowing to lease this property has already secured the insurance information that's on my desk that lists the property in case of any damages. So this is being presented to you for approval to enter into a lease for that property.
One year lease?
This, I think we've got this listed at 5 years since.
Is that $4 a year?
No, it's $4 an acre and it's payable every year, so $1,800.
18 a year, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions? I'll entertain a motion, Chair, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, excuse me. To adopt. All those in favor, aye? Those likewise, motion carries. Zach, the citizen of the year.
So you had previously talked about the citizens of the year that you would like to do. You tasked us with figuring something out. We've spoken with Peter and Summer Tracks. What we would like to do is for you to pick out one of the plaques. We'll have a plaque made, and then we will present it at Summer Tracks. We will invite the 2 Citizens of the Year, and then we will try to have some sort of wind jacket or sweatshirt made with their name on it, the logo to try on, just a little thank you kind of deal, as well as the plaque. And then we'll get a banner made, hang it at Summer Tracks, and we will have a quick introduction before the concert, whichever one Peter chooses, and we will.
If we discuss an email.
You have discussed in, I believe, closed session before, but you have discussed as
And this is a matter that can be the honorary,
yeah. You have discussed, you know both of them very well. I'm surprised one's not here tonight, and the other one's.
Well, considering that you suggested one of them.
God, please send me an email.
Okay, yeah.
You dye your hair, don't you?
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot an email, but once you guys get it, you'll remember exactly the conversation, I'm sure.
Yeah, there were 2 of them.
And you weren't one of them.
Matter of fact, you may have been the person that nominated the first one.
Yeah.
And then he had one. And I agree with both. Okay, you don't need anything other than FYI.
I do want you to pick out the plaque that you want to get. The plaque's on, we just picked 4 different styles. If you just pick one, if you don't care, I'll just get whichever one makes the most sense.
Anybody care to hand pick it?
I like the first one.
Like the first one,
I don't like anything as well.
okay?
Everybody wants to be abnormal with her.
Fine, I don't have to put.
Okay, there are 2. You need one.
We haven't seen them.
Oh, there.
Well, I like the first one.
Well, that's what I like. I see the agenda back.
Yeah.
One it is.
One it is.
One it is.
All right.
All right, item 10, minimum housing update.
I have just 2 things. 427 East Howard, we're waiting on some estimates, so we can begin on that. And 45 East Livingston, 427 East Howard. 45 East Livingston, Philip Fagan has determined that the extra piece of property is obtainable from the last meeting where we said the plat did not include that long stretch, but he said we do, that is obtainable, but we have to find out who the heirs are for the necessary paperwork to get that back into the fold.
That would
Be Angie?
be Angie.
Okay.
Were there 4?
Mark. And
I just told her it was 3 that lived in town. I didn't call out any names.
I did, Tim, I had breakfast with Brooke this morning, and he gave me the contact info.
Oh, yeah, okay.
For that, so I've got a 216 area code number, so I'm assuming that's the one we need.
But we're also waiting on estimates for that, so when we do transfer the property over, we can just get started on it. And that's it.
Okay, 11, TDA update.
TPA is doing really well. I did want to share with you all that we adopted a new vision statement, and it is historic downtown Tryon, claimed by the first peaks of the Blue Ridge Mountains, is a thriving arts and culture community that elevates our position as an international equestrian destination, creating the friendliest, most livable small town in the South. So from that, we have created 3 new committees that are going to be focusing on those things that are outlined in our vision statement. So we have an Arts and Culture Committee, a Horse Heritage Committee, and a Livability Committee. I sat in on the Livability meeting just today, and I'm really excited to share with you all that they're working very hard together, and they have some really great actionable items that we're hopefully going to achieve in the next 12 months. That's what they have been tasked to do, is come up with a plan that we can really work on over the next year. So we're doing really well, and I'm very proud of them, and I'd be happy to get you all copies of this plan if you'd like to see it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Email that.
Sure.
And the committees and the committee members.
Yes.
Okay, item 12,
Okay.
town manager's report.
So, we covered a couple of things earlier, but I'll kind of go over. So obviously the Melrose Inn, we are getting some quotes on doing some sidewalks and stuff around town. We will be taking care of the sidewalk in front of the Melrose Inn property that is broken. We do have a quote on the wall on Chestnut Street. I know there's discussion to be had on that if you want to talk about that. We're getting some more quotes on some more sidewalks around town. We did meet with Duke Energy about the lights on Erskine. We've got the locates performed for like a 7th time already, but once we get that stuff taken care of, Duke will get that taken care of. And we'll get the lights installed that you chose. We already discussed the speed limit sign on Freeman Hill. I did want to remind you about the email I sent regarding the sewer issue on Broadway. So I will be emailing you again tomorrow to see if you have any more input there. The cell tower issue, we talked about the 200-foot versus 100-foot. They were all in agreement, Tim, of going for seeing if we can actually take our ordinances and allow that space to have a 200-foot cell tower, since it's lower in valley, so to speak, and it'd be the same height. So if we can get settled on that. They do want to tear it down. I have a leave tear down clause in the contract and maybe disguise it if possible. I'm going to turn the floor over here in a second regarding LaBerge, if you want to go over some of that. But we did meet with the state today regarding LaBerge. We think that we got most of that out of the way. But before I move on, Jeff, do you have anything that you'd like to say regarding the police department? Jody, do you have anything to add? Travis, you got anything? Tim? So if you want to get into LaBerge, we can get in with the rest.
So we had the chief fire code engineer, Charlie Johnson, and the chief building engineer for the state come down today to look at specifically the complaints by Ms. Jack on the apartment 12. The complaints that were stated were exactly as what we have told her. There's nothing we can do. They confirmed that the construction in that was old, it was not new. You could tell that space had been there for the entire time. You could tell the plumbing had been there the entire time. Mr. Gosnell from Polk County stated that he had gone 20 years back and everybody had confirmed that at some point they knew someone was living there, so that was indeed a living space from way back. Nothing that was currently made into a living space. So they're going to turn a report into to the chief fire marshal, and pretty much it's going to come back that as far as the building inspection and the fire inspection side, there's nothing that we can do. He is in compliance with that space. There were a couple issues, minor issues in the building that I have to go back and address outside of that will fall to the homeowners association. It's nothing major, but if there is fallout, there's no fire extinguishers in the common areas and a couple little things like that. I have to go back and inspect and, recommend that she puts in there or they put in there. But other than that, it's just like we've been telling her this whole time. The building was built in the 20s. It was built before codes were in place. The statutes do not apply for the fire side to enter a living space. If I did have permission, if it was a rental, I could look to confirm their smoke detectors. We confirmed that today. There's smoke detectors and CO detectors in there. There's nothing to be done in that apartment 12. So that they're going to send a copy of the report back to us, and we'll get that out probably in a couple weeks.
But I appreciate what you did and the others, because we went as far as we could go. We thought we were right, and we proved to be correct. And I think sometimes people don't get it, partially because of when building codes and things came in. It's like the Volkswagen bus that I have. it didn't have seatbelts. They're not required. I had to put in it for safety, but I didn't have to. Depending on what you follow, and thank you for your time.
One last thing, we want, as a fire department, tell everyone thank you. Our new turnout gear has arrived. We'll be handing it out this week, so we are really grateful and appreciate it. It's something that was needed, and we're very, very thankful.
Thank you. Zach?
So just a couple more things. We've got a couple meetings coming up. One thing to remind you is we are hearing that the movie people may be doing a second. We're trying to verify if that's true or not, but they do want us to have a more involved role as a municipality. We had some volunteers this go around that wanted to help. The movie company has asked for some things, and basically, I would be approaching Bo in the coming weeks to ask if Bo has the time to help us get some form of a committee started that can help process this, so it's not just everyone calls town hall and tries to get a hold of any of us in the room to accomplish things. So we are gonna try to figure that stuff out. As far as LaBerge goes, I think he hit the nail on the head that the state will be responding for us, which should be helpful in improving some of those things. But as far as everything else, I reached out today. I didn't get a hold of them. I'll continue reaching out to the engineering company and see if I can't get a input on when we're going to see something come in. Everything else is on time with the Braywick stuff. So basically, we've just kind of been busy doing some stuff. I had a list of Jody's accomplishments throughout the week. They've been busy on some breaks. They've been very busy on some breaks. And then hopefully we can get everything squared away. So if you have questions, just let me know, and I'll try to answer them as best I can.
Okay, item 13 tonight, we start Bill Ingham, Chris, Bill Full, Joel, and me.
All right, Mr. State, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, all the department heads. Thank you all for keeping things going. I'd like to second what the mayor was saying, Josh, about getting this squared away with the mayor. And everybody just be safe.
I'd like to thank the citizens for their input and thank our employees for your work. It's appreciated.
Well, I want to thank all you guys, keep the town looking nice. Chiefs, sorry I missed the work session. I hope they gave y'all what y'all need. I was working and all of a sudden it was 4 o'clock and I'm like, oh, God, come on, I was supposed to be somewhere. So, sorry for that. And, yeah, you're not getting the new tank truck. That's it. Be safe, be happy, wear your mask.
Without being redundant, I don't believe everything has been said.
Best place in the world to live. Town fine. Any citizens' comments? Yes, ma'am. Please stand, identify yourself.
I'm Kim Sherwood. Good evening. And I just had a quick question.
Address for the.
Oh, yeah, I'll give it to her in a minute.
Okay.
I didn't see anything in the document package about the finances, and maybe you don't do it every month, but I'm just curious how the budget is looking 7 months into this fiscal year. And if you have any reading on I guess you have a hospitality tax or you have something similar, and how that's looking year to date.
Yeah, a true hospitality tax we don't have. All we have that we can get on that tax,
We have an occupancy tax.
occupancy tax. I thought you said hospitality.
I did say hospitality. So you don't pick anything up from the restaurant business?
No, that's in this state.
Okay.
You don't have home rule in this state, so we get to do very little. You go across the line and land them, and they have it.
Yeah, they're holding their own. They're really on target with last year. So they got, what, 350, 400,000 a year. They're gonna start that farmer's market, build that building for $1.8 million. So I was just curious how it's looking here. And back to the 7-month, are you having any overruns or
So,
under spending or?
do y'all want me to answer?
Yeah, I would like to go first. Are you a citizen?
No, I'm not. I live in the Ice and Greenville County.
Then we have a question. Why the question?
Why not? We move it to a place and you want to get to know it, and what better way than to come attend these meetings and school district, Lander City Council, you guys, try on wards, et cetera.
So,
Fantastic way to learn.
to answer the question, financially, we're doing very well, according to the year prior. So basically, as far as occupancy tax goes, which is where, the heads and beds, sort of bed and breakfast type deals. In January, we reached, 100% of what we budgeted. So we're seeing more travel than we've seen in years past.
So you lowered it for the year for budget?
No,
You did, you kept it.
yeah, we kept
That's a
it.
good thing then.
Yeah, I mean, we kept it, right about the space in which we projected. We were probably gonna project 22, we just went ahead and projected 20 just in case because of COVID and stuff, but
Right.
we knew that people would still travel once things kind of open back up, but we're at, basically 100% of that. We are looking at our sales tax, we're probably both Article 39, 40, 42, 44, we're probably running anywhere from 70 to 80% for the year. So we're doing very well on that as well. Utility franchise, everything else related, we're actually doing really well in that regards. Property tax is at probably 98% for the year. So, financially, we are coming in above what we projected.
The revenue.
Yeah, so we projected lower, obviously, because of COVID, but what they also discussed before the budget was even passed was that even though things get crazy, we do understand that people may not be eating in restaurants, but they're still going to the IGA. And then the career tax funding has done really well for us on top of some state grants we received for Carolina Drive on top of other things, so I hope that answers the question.
And nothing crazy on the spending, that's really, Landon's had a few issues with that.
Yeah, we're not
Just capital
landing,
budget stuff.
so, yeah,
You're not Landon?
no.
I don't know what that means. Thank you.
It means you're on the wrong side of the line.
We looked and we couldn't find anything here, so, we're just over the line.
Yes, Jerry.
I'm Jerry Soderquist. I'm the chair of the Triumph Cemetery Commission. It was established in 1923. I want to put out the notice that, yes, we're in need of some additional members for this commission. We're only short in our committee, so if there's anybody who wants to serve on this, we usually meet once a month for a short amount of time here. But we've got a number of other activities going on that I think people will be interested in. One of which is on March 20th, Saturday, we're going to have a cleanup day at Triumph Cemetery. And we usually get a dozen people or so to help us do a cleanup. And I'll have a notice in the paper for that. Another thing having to do with the cemetery, we are a member of Find a Grave, which is an international program. And you can go online and look up at the site for Triumph Cemetery and look at all the people that are buried there. And there's usually a page for each person. Some of them are photographed, some are not. There's about 50% of them that have their monuments have been photographed and are on this page that you can look at. And we're in the process of updating that. I've been through, there's about 1,400 graves in Triumph Cemetery, and about 50% of them are photographed. They're actual monuments. I've got another 50 on my computer, and someday I'll put them on. And the other thing is, part of the cemetery commission is the Archival Research Center, and that's been ongoing for quite a while. And we've been kind of stumbling our way through, what are we gonna be, what are we gonna look like? And just recently, that has seemed to all come together. And we're in the process now of entering data in a database. And yes, our interest was the people in the cemetery, and of course, there's at least a dozen churches in the area that are part of Find a Grave, and they participate in this too. But my interest was all of the people in Tryon. Are they listed in a kind of database? They will be part of archives, as will all the media, which is articles and documents associated with a person. And that's ongoing at the moment. So I got, if you have questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gary.
Chairman, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Favor aye. Opposed likewise. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Yeah.